What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to another episode of Cut the Shit, Get Fit. I am your lovely host, Rafał Matuszewski, and this is another solo edition of me driving into my car and, just doing my thing, ranting about random stuff, and hopefully we get a good beneficial episode for you guys. What I want to talk about today, because 2020 is upon us in a couple days. As I record this, I think there's 2 days or 3 days until the new year, and a lot of people are going to go down the path of, new year, new me type of thing, and a lot of people will want to finally get their health in order, their goals crushed, and many of you have probably gone through a lot of different programs, diets, things like that, and a lot of you have failed. A lot of you have tried to follow specific programs, didn't see the success, and have probably asked yourself, I'm doing all the right things, why isn't it working? So an example I want to use, because it's probably one of the biggest programs out there that was marketed so well that almost every single person bought the program, and some people saw success, some people it just didn't happen. So, this program I'm referring to is something called P90X, and I'm pretty sure at least 50% of my audience will know what that is. So probably around the early 2000s, this workout program called P90X came out, and I think at the time that's when people actually watched regular TV late at night. This commercial comes on, it's nice and dark, and this guy named Tony Horn starts talking about muscle confusion and these exercises and program is designed specifically for you to lose weight. And then you start seeing everyday people working out with it. They follow along, and it's just as easy as pressing play and blah, blah, blah. So I remember early on in my training career, I thought, man, this is such a good idea. And I dove into it. I put myself through the program. I wanted to see what the special thing about P90X and why so many people were going crazy for it. And honestly, the program itself is not good. It's pretty terrible, right? But it got people moving in their own living room for exercise. The nutrition component of it wasn't that amazing. It wasn't anything special. If I can remember correctly, it teaches you how to calculate calories, and based on your height and weight, based on the activity level you're gonna take while following the program, it puts you in a somewhat rate deficit and encourage you to eat fruit and vegetables and lots of protein and minimal carbs. Combine that with a 90-day program where you have to work out every single day of the week. Meaning Monday through Sunday, there was a DVD that you had to push into your DVD player and follow along. So those two things, physical activity every single day, eating clean food, and being in a deficit for 90 days, hell yes, you'd see results. But when you start breaking down the percentages of people who bought the program and actually began using it from start to finish and followed all the guidelines, maybe it was 1% of success rate. But if you think about the numbers, right, say in just the US alone, P90X sold 10 million copies. 1% is still a pretty big number when it comes to those figures. So they had a lot of great, testimonials before and afters and things like that. And, a lot of people will watch the commercial and think, oh my God, like this is the missing link. This is what I need. Like the program is scientifically blah, 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 and I'm going to start eating better. And there's all these people just like me that can do it. But for some reason, not everyone can do it. Right? So there is no magic thing out there. There's no magic whatever. It's literally what's going inside your head. If people actually followed the advice that I gave them to see success, they would be done their fitness journey within like 6 months and like boom, they would never need me again. But this is where a lot of people struggle. A lot of coaches make the mistake of getting frustrated with their clients, saying, I tell this person to do this, they're not listening to me, like what the hell, I'm the expert here. But the thing as coaches that we tend to forget is, the client that's in front of you or overseas because you're an online coach, you forget that your client is the expert of themselves. And when you start thinking about it this way, you need to start relaying the information a little bit differently. So where am I going with this? For the people that are fitness enthusiasts and are on their fitness journey, you need to start asking yourself some deep, deep questions. Things like, what have I done in the past where I saw results? And start really, really thinking about what those things were. And when you fell off the wagon, as they call it, what happened during that time? What life event happened during that time where you fell off the wagon? So when I look at the P90X, I'm like, that's a huge commitment. Like 90 days straight of exercise. So that's an hour every day that you have to give up. And if you're a type of person that's in a stressful situation at work and you're working like 12 to 16 hour days, like the last thing you want to do is go home, push a freaking DVD in and start working out. But for a lot of people, sometimes that's just the push they need. But 9 out of 10 times, people need more than just, I'm just going to go home and work out every single day for 90 days until this program's over and, it'll happen to me. So we have the time constraint, right? Now you got to start asking, like, do I have other commitments in my life where I will most likely give up? Like, this whole fitness and health thing is so much harder than a lot of people think. Like, for example, right now it's the holidays. How easy has it been for every single person in America and North America to go off their healthy lifestyle, to eat like shit, eat cookies, drink, out of nowhere? Even though you've been trying all year to follow a good diet, exercise, and do everything right, but the moment the holidays go, like, you just throw all that shit through the door. Why is that? Start asking yourself why you fall into certain patterns or behaviors. Like, if you've noticed that when you come home from work because it was a stressful day, the way for you to cope, you go to food. Like, why is that happening? Why is it that when you overate, you feel guilty about it? Why do people feel guilty for eating too much and then dwell in it? Why do people lose hope? Like, you need to start asking yourself all these questions and, like, write them down and see if you can answer them. And then when you start answering them, maybe it's going to start unfolding what the true reason is. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't want it bad enough. There's other factors that play in when it comes to being successful at fitness and health. Like, it doesn't matter what program that's out there is going to solve your issue. For some, that P90X program worked wonders. They saw great results, blah, blah, blah. But then, look at the percentage of people that continued that kind of journey of working out every single day. Maybe that 1% of people that bought the program and went through the entire 90 days, saw great results, maybe half of them actually stuck with it for the rest of their life. Because, that program probably came out in the early 2000s, and probably close to 20 years. How many of those people have actually stuck with a workout regimen every single day since the day they started P90X? Probably pretty low. So when you start seeing all these stats about the success rate long term, man, it is small. So when people look at 2020 as their year to, do well and crush their goals for the first time ever, try thinking about changing your entire lifestyle. That is not going to be 2020 that you're going to finally see success. What about 2030? Think that long ahead. Because if you come from a place where you've tried 9 different diets, 6 different programs, went through the entire process, stopped, gained all the weight back, and then you're back to square one, that's not a lifestyle change. That was just your willpower, and you got to a certain point and you're like, fuck it, can't do this for the rest of my life. Now imagine if you change your lifestyle slowly, and the next December when the holidays come around, and you know that you're gonna be flooded with cookies, but for some reason you've changed your mindset, your lifestyle to be a little bit more health conscious, and rather than like eating an entire plate to yourself, you go, what, I'm gonna have like 3 or 4, I'm good, I'll stop there. That small step is a huge door that's opening in front of you. Imagine that rather than on the weekends you just sit around the house and do nothing, you go for a walk, you go outside, you go do something active, even if it's as simple as like, I'm gonna go for a 10-minute walk. That's a huge door opening for your life, because the next year, the next 3 years of you opening those big doors, even though there was a small change, that small walk can turn into, I'm going to start cycling for the first time, and now you're cycling 80 kilometers over the weekend. Like, you need to start thinking bigger picture, and not in 3 months, if I do this drastic workout program like P90X, I'm finally going to see the results. You need to undo all those bad habits. So really, really, really think about why you do certain behaviors, why things in the past didn't work, and what things did make you feel like you're going in the right direction. Ask yourself, what makes you feel good about your body that takes you into a health category? Like, if you thoroughly enjoy like making soup, for example, because you like soup is healthy for you, and you like adding lots of veggies, and you have your meat, it's a warm meal, and it makes you feel good and full, and you don't feel bloated, like, do that. Find other things that promote that feeling, because it's gonna change you. Don't make 2020 about being your year to change everything the last 2 decades that you've been trying to accomplish with fitness and health. Make 2020 the first step to changing your entire life for the better. So I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully you enjoyed my ramblings. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for listening to me the last 3.5 years. You guys are amazing. Share this podcast with your friends and family. Thank you. Until next time, you guys.